What is up, RotoGrinders? Welcome to Wednesday. It is not crunch time. It is Grinders Live. Crunch time coming in about 55 minutes or so, taking you all the way up the block. I say all the way up the block because we're going to be focusing mainly here on the DK slate. FanDuel does start at 12:05. They got Cleveland and Washington, the very, very early slate. The prize pools aren't very impressive, and they probably already sold out at this point. If you have any FanDuel-related questions, we're happy to answer there in the chat, but this show is mainly going to focus on the DK 5-game slate. FanDuel, by the way, did cut off the last 2 games that are on the DK slate. That is Seattle, the Athletics, and the Mets, and the D-backs. It is myself and Blenderhead, Blender HD. People, I'm not yelling at the people. I'm not screaming at the people. I'm telling them good morning, good afternoon. Didn't break any speakers. Wanted to be relatively calm and smooth for the next hour. No, it's not even an hour. 50 minutes or so. Crunch time coming in and taking you guys on.
Dean, I don't think anyone do people call you smooth?
No, I don't know why.
Are you the smooth operator of DFS? No. I wouldn't put you as. You're not that guy.
No, not at all. I'm not. I am not Sade, the Sade DFS. Is that who sang smooth operator? I think. Not sure. Fairly certain, but. Yeah, I don't. Once I said that, I walked it back in my head, but I wasn't going to call it out. But thank you for calling me out.
It's like Dean calling himself smooth. I'm like, okay,
no, not at all.
That's not an adjective. I would have. I mean, if we were power ranking adjectives for Dean, that would be very very low on the list.
If anything, hit that like button, do subscribe, do turn on those notifications, do all those things. We much appreciate you guys helping us keep the old lights on. Coming in 55 minutes or so, I believe it's I think Stevie's gonna be jumping on. Yeah, you got TJ Zwarych. You guys know TJ, right? One of the greatest DFS players in all of Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, Canada. Chief meteorologist Kevin Roth as well. And yeah, it is Stevie. I did drop the weather report in chat. Nothing really alarming until the night slate. Kansas City is currently orange, but I always say, Bunder. This is DFS. We care about today and today only. This is DFS early slate. So we care about DFS early slate and the early slate only. Right now, we don't care about the night slate. But just put that in your back pocket. Kansas City might be dicey. You're not going to
care about the night slate. I'll still come out with a video today for SimLabs for the night slate, the 7-game night slate. Because if you notice, Dean, like that, you're not imposing on my time as normal here on Grinders Live.
Typically, I am. Yeah, that's no longer a thing. Explain what's going on to the people.
Well, I mean, they should already know to subscribe to the YouTube channel.
They might not be aware.
Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, I do about a 20-minute SimLabs analysis on the slate, whether it be MLB, NBA, NFL, obviously when that comes up. I mean, I live, Dean. I've given myself up totally to the AI overlords. Okay, I've accepted my fate.
It'll turn out great, I'm sure.
Right.
Just don't watch Terminator.
I don't know. I play typically just 1 to 3 lineups a day, and I just use SimLabs. So I show every Monday through Wednesday, basically how I use SimLabs and to research what lineups am I going to play, and remember it's about lineups, not players. So we go through typically, over-owned, under-owned pitchers, over-owned, under-owned stacks, and, heuristics before I even get to SimLabs. And most of the time, I'm able to kind of guess what SimLabs is going to like more than not, just from heuristics. But for the most part, I'm just looking for, okay, I think I'm going to play this team as a stack. I think I'm going to fade this pitcher. And you can even put your own your own executive decisions, because there's thousands of plus EV lineups that you could play in a lot of these contests. So if you don't want to play Brian Wu today, or you don't want to play Sonny Gray today, you could just kind of X them out and see what the lineups that don't have them in it. Or if you're insistent on playing a certain stack, just lock them in and see what is the rest of the lineup look like. What do you play a chalky one-off? Do you not play a certain pitcher? And SimLabs will rate out the lineups for you and tell you what to do. And typically that's I run a lot of times. I'll play the lineups that I make and kind of run in my videos on that slate, as long as nothing dramatic changes. It's not NBA where one guy's in, one guy's out, and you have to run SimLabs 2 minutes before lock just to get the 14 bits of news that came in 3 minutes before the slate starts. MLB is leisurely. You could use SimLabs. It's part of the Combo LITE package. It's our cheapest package, you don't need. I mean, you don't even need to. I make 150 lineups in SimLabs, and I always tell people in the videos, like, you could use it just to research one lineup, 2 lineups. You could save lineups. You could, if you're going to make 20, you could say, oh, well, I'm going to make 20. I'm going to make a couple of Cardinal stacks, and you find 2 or 3 that you like at full lineups, and then you go, I'm going to make 2 Seattle stacks, and you can just go through it that way. And it's a very quick way of using our data here at RotoGrinders, the player projections and the ownership projections, to without using an optimizer, without using lineup HQ, to make your lineups that have a good blend of projection, correlation, and leverage for the size GPPs that you're playing.
I've been resistant, Blender, to the AI overlords. Not that I'm against running sims and like using that as a tool, but I'm still making lineups by hand.
That's a word. See, you said earlier before, smooth was not going to be high in the power ranking to describe you, but tool is definitely up there. It's definitely up there.
That's tier number 1.
That was very, very facetious laughter. I feel like Steve did that almost like he didn't actually like the joke, but
half man or something like that. Hit the can button,
That they just seems so sarcastic. Like, no, like that's a fake laugh. That's not a real laugh.
Well, I'll see you just having a good time. You mentioned Sonny Gray. Sonny Gray is projected to be the most popular pitcher, taking the bump tonight, taking on a horrific Pittsburgh ball club. They're bad, and the weather's actually pretty good for pitching today. That's also kind of a big talking point for today's slate, because I'm not sure if you saw Weather Edge today. The ballpark that's affected most by weather conditions, Wrigley. 69 game sample. Is that a nice enough sample for you as far as enough games? Does that work for you? 69 games.
69 always works for me, Dean. That's what I always say. 69 always works for me.
57 is the temp. We're such children. 13 miles per hour as far as wind blowing in, essentially from dead center field. In 69 previous games, homers have hit a decrease at 35%. Homers have decreased at 35%. Runs decrease at 15%, and ERA 16% difference as well. So not a good pitching environment. This number was 6.5 last night. Ben Brown taking on Robbie Ray. It's jumped back up to 7. I guess depending on where you're shopping. The book I was looking at, it was 6.5. So that is a total. Robbie Ray, of course, doesn't matter what the temperature is. If he's going to walk you, he's going to walk you. If you can't throw strikes, it doesn't matter. And we've seen the Cubs beat this before several times, not necessarily with homers, but just they're the best team on offense so far to start the season. It's a tricky conundrum, and I'm curious what the AI overlords are going to tell us to do, because I know Dave Potts, he's as good. He has the old Robbie Ray rule, and he tells us, look, if he's going to be popular, you don't play him. If he's not going to be popular, you're supposed to consider him. It is only a 5-game slate, 10 pitchers throwing baseball, so popular is relative. But I got to give it a refresh now as far as the current ownership stuff right now. Last I saw that Sonny Gray was 50% owned, and I get it. I'm going to be in on it, actually. I'm going to be over the field on that. You know what just happened? Maybe help me out here.
We just got a projection update. So
okay.
Apparently everyone's 0% owned. So everyone is under owned. So no one's playing anyone today. It's going to be very easy to win today based on our ownership.
Who are they playing? If everybody's 0%,
everyone else has faked, like the lineups that you reserve and you never put an entry, you never put an actual player.
Sure.
Apparently the rest of the field is doing that. So whoever you play is going to be 100% owned.
Okay, so it didn't just happen to me.
Whatever. It's going to be whatever your line. You get the. Where's the laughter? That was sort of funny.
Hit the sarcastic laughter button.
Right, Steve's off editing.
We need a variety of laughing options. Yeah, so I did hit refresh, and when I refreshed it, all of a sudden all the ownership stuff went away. I'm sure it's going to come back soon enough, but for the sake of the conversation, well, what do I? Last I saw, it's funny. There's only one pitcher that has an ownership, and it's Quinn Priester at 18%. I don't know if that's accurate.
Way over owned. I'd rather play 0%. No, last time I saw, he was like what 15% owned, 20% owned.
I don't think it was going to be terrible. Yeah, somewhere in the middle. I mean, again, there's only 10 dudes throwing baseballs. But I think the most popular option is going to be Sonny Gray. Framber Valdez, he's not been as sharp as he has been historically, but historically he's been the quality start machine. That's not exactly been how he's been so far this season. Taking on a Milwaukee team, I guess a fine offense, I suppose. We don't have a Milwaukee lineup just yet. Lineups will be streaming it on through. No Cubs, no Mariners, no A's, no Mets, no D-backs. Because, again, the slate starts, Mets in Arizona starts at 3:40 Eastern time. I did check. I suspected the roof is closed today. It was open last night, but I imagine during the day it's got to be scalding out there in the afternoon in Arizona. Seattle and the Athletics has the biggest number on the board as far as 9.5. Well, I guess Mets and Arizona also at 9.5, but again, 7 total for San Fran and the Cubs. Ben Brown taking on Robbie Ray. 7.5 Keller versus Gray. Pittsburgh's terrible. Gray's pretty good, probably the best pitcher. Woo's really a good pitcher, but the Athletics, at least their front 5, really, really excellent. We did see a big dumper Kyle Rowley rest yesterday, so I presume he'll be back this afternoon to do the catching for Seattle. The Astros, obviously, if you missed it, Yordan Alvarez has been out, and they're running out nine righties for the Astros. That's just kind of what they're doing these days against Quinn Priester, who's not great, but he will have the platoon advantage the entire lineup through. Do we get another lineup here? D-backs: Carroll, Perdomo, Smith, Naylor, Suarez, Gurriel, Thomas, Tawa, and Herrera. So Moreno not in there as far as that's the backup catcher, Herrera. Is there something else glaring that I'm missing as far as Arizona? Not sure. But lineups coming on through. What is did you have a SimLabs? What are they telling us? I'm just playing something.
I haven't run SimLabs yet because I'm still waiting for all these updates to come through.
No Ketel Marte. That's who it is. No Ketel Marte for Arizona. That's a big one.
Well, that'll be a bump up for I'm assuming Senga.
Yeah. Senga's been
the most noticeable thing as far as pitching on the slate, according to our Sims, is that Sonny Gray is going to be massively overowned. Not saying that he's not a good play, but his optimal rate. Now, obviously, we need to wait for a little bit for an update, but not so much. I mean, nothing's going to change that much. He's the highest raw point pitcher on the slate at 8,200. So, like him, and then Valdez, and then Wu, and then Ray, and then Ben Brown, and then Kodai Senga. But the difference between all these pitchers is like, 4 points, median-wise, like the middle. But the optimal rate...
19 to 15, yeah.
Yeah, but the optimal rates are dramatically different. So, like, Robbie Ray, 21%, Senga, 27%, Gray, 28%, Valdez, 34%, and Brian Wu, 51% at 9K. So, like, for the ownership, Gray is actually over-owned. Now, obviously, I'm going to run SimLabs. He's going to show up in tons of lineups anyway. I mean, like, 28%, I mean, the third highest optimal rate pitcher on the slate, even if he's 50% owned, is still going to be in play. You could still play Sonny Gray, right? But I'm assuming I'm just going to get a lot of Brian Wu and Kodai Senga. And I'm assuming Senga's projection may actually go up just a little bit with that Marte in the lineup. So, all the pitching is like, you could play any stack you want on this slate. There's enough like value. You could always plug in some.
Hit the button, Steve.
Hit the button.
Play wherever you want.
Play wherever you want. No, he's taking care of something else. Don't worry about it. Play wherever you had fun with the buttons early, and then he's just like, okay, I've enough.
I had the over on button pushes. I had over 4.5.
I made fun of his buttons, and now he doesn't want to talk to me anymore. So whatever.
It's a fair response.
But you get it what I'm saying. It's like 9K, 8K, I mean 17K at pitcher. You could afford pretty much any stacked within reason. So
yeah, salary's not really a thing.
Right. So salary is not really like do I need to play Quinn Priester at 6,300 in order to play X stack? I don't think you need to do any of that. And I think a lot of the ownership is going to be condensed on Sonny Gray. And I know Pittsburgh has like a 3.2 total. I'm not a big trusting in Sonny Gray type of guy. I don't think it's like this is the, I mean,
are you a trusting to Brian Hayes kind of guy?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not into either.
Tommy Pham.
But his last
two
starts,
game, right? I mean, wasn't Pham a Cardinal?
What?
I think he was a Cardinal. Wasn't Pham a Cardinal? Revenge game? Go ahead. Continue. Okay.
His last 2 games, he's given up like what? 7 hits, 9 hits, 3 walks. I mean,
nobody's dominant here. There's no. We had some like 3 or 4 dominant pitch. If Skeens was pitching today, his ownership would be dramatically higher than it was last night.
Right.
It's all about
but that's kind of the point that I'm getting. It's like I don't think there's that dramatic of a difference between a lot of these pitchers. So why am I going to play a 50% owned Sonny Gray where I could play a half his owned Kodai Senga or Brian Wu or Framber Valdez or Robbie Ray? Or I think Ben Brown may be over-owned today at 7,500.
He's throwing in that Wrigley conditions, man. It looks spectacular.
I mean, this slate is not that spectacular for offense. I mean, I think there's more pitching options. And stack-wise, it's kind of – this could be the type of slate where, like, the highest-scoring team scores, like, 6 runs. And maybe, just maybe, Dean, finally, 1-1-1-1-1-1-1 lineups. I mean, that could do it.
There's
I wouldn't play that, but I'm just saying
going to spit that out though. There's no chance.
Right. I don't. On SimLabs, I think it's more likely to spit out like 3-3-2 type of lineups than 5-3 type of lineups. All I'm saying is that I wouldn't be as concerned about playing full 5-man stacks on a low-scoring slate. And like, if you want to like get pieces 3-2-2 whatever, I think that's okay. I think SimLabs. Well, I mean. Only for AI overlords tell us it's okay, but I guess I play the AI overlord whisperer before I click on SimLabs, and most of the time I'm dead on, but sometimes it surprises me. So I'm basing this on heuristics, like I teach in my course, theoryofdfs.com, and hopefully when we get around to stacks and stuff like that, I'll run SimLabs and see what it says.
But I am hitting a refresh here on Lineup HQ. No ownership stuff just yet. I see TJ hanging out in chat. I know he's in the bullpen. He's coming on in about a half hour or so. He's got Spidey with him as well. If we get 50 likes, once we get 50 likes, I shouldn't say if we don't get 50, we're just going to walk up the show at some point. 2 Spidey bumps. And I guess every 50, we're going to get more from TJ. TJ coming on with Stevie and Roth around 12:10 or so, taking you guys all up to the DraftKings lock. Brown, I think is very much in play. You kind of mentioned Brown in passing. I talk about the positive weather in St. Louis at 68, wind blowing in from right field. 42 games, not a massive number, but 42 previous games, similar weather. 31% hit in homers, 7% hit in runs as well. So it looks like the ballpark's going to play pitcher friendly there. Yeah, somebody's asking about Hoglund. He shut down the Marlins in his MLB debut in Miami, and good for him. The Marlins are terrible. He was traded in the Matt Chapman deal a couple years ago. Last I saw, I was looking at this earlier, I think coming into the season, he was the 15th ranked prospect for the Athletics. He's not 4K anymore. He was 4K, and a lot of people played him when he was 4K against Miami. Now he's got a Seattle team that, can actually hit baseballs. We'll see if Arozarena's back. He came back last night. I assume he'll play the day game after the night game. Maybe they give him an extra day because he just came back from a minor injury. We have no lineup just yet for the Mariners, but I'm not saying you can't. I'm not prioritizing it. But like you said, they're all a lot of them are kind of the same. I think Hoglund's like in the pool, but I only make a few lineups. I don't think I'm getting there, but I'm not saying you can't play him. I think the really interesting one is Robbie Ray. This Cubs lineup is good, and it's really patient, at least the front half. And that's, when Ray's good, he's just striking people out and he's not walking the world. But if you look at the projected lineup for Chicago, the first 5 guys are all in the green on plate IQ as far as taking walks. And also, they don't strike out. 17.3% collectively. Just one guy in the red, that's PCA, who's been spectacular this season. But again, I've talked about this before. His Ks are too high and his walks are too low. Like his plate stuff, it's just, he can't keep up what he's doing. I don't think so. As much as I want to love him. And neither can Carson Kelly, by the way. Carson Kelly's been like the best hitter in baseball this season, which is completely bonkers. That's unsustainable. By the way, I'm being told here in chat, Tommy Pham. How many teams has Tommy Pham played for? You want to guess? Are you reading chat? Have you seen this?
Yeah, I see. 10 teams.
Oh, yeah, 10 teams. That's a lot of fantasy football. How does he keep track? Was he the manager, or was Mike Trout? I think Mike Trout ran the league, right? And he was upset at Mike Trout because
he's a fantasy league. Oh yeah, so
you don't remember
this Tommy Pham? Non grata here at RotoGrinders. Right?
He was the guy.
He should be the Pete Rose of fantasy baseball, right? Or something. He didn't. Mike Trout called him out on something. He should be banned. We should have to. There should be some.
No. Tommy Pham called out Mike Trout. There was a few years ago. Tommy Pham got into a fight with a player, and apparently the backstory had something to do with fantasy football. And I guess Mike Trout was the commissioner, and he like let a bad trade go through, or he just wasn't a very strict commissioner. Being told in chat it was Jock Peterson. Was Jock Peterson involved as well? Yeah, Tommy Pham hit Jock Peterson. That's right. And I think the backstory was fantasy football related, which is kind of hilarious. And I think Mike Trout was the commissioner of the league. And I don't know if he ran a tight ship. He probably didn't run a tight ship.
Well, I mean, we can't ban Mike Trout. I mean, we play him too often. He's too good of a player.
Well, you're not banning the players. They're allowed to play fantasy football. You know.
No, I'm talking about banning from talking about them on RotoGrinders, because if you make any unwritten rule, any set lifetime ban, something that you do in fantasy baseball, are we ever going to talk about Jonte Porter on like any type of betting or anything for any reason? No, you're dead to me, right? Terry Rozier may be done. We'll never talk about
those. Just allegations. The Rozier thing. Maybe he's just terrible. Maybe
I don't know. But I'm just saying, is it the type of thing where like, well, we don't talk about Pete Rose because he bet on baseball, so baseball never. Do we never talk about all the steroid people, right? Barry Bonds. Oh, he act like he doesn't exist.
Barry
anymore.
Bonds used steroids.
He did.
Is that what you're saying? Is that allegedly?
I mean, all those people. People talk. People act like these people don't exist anymore. They talk about great pitchers, and no one brings up Clemens. It's like, oh, doesn't exist. Who cares, right? So do we have to do the same thing for fantasy sports, where if someone did something that unscrupulous in their fantasy league, we just can't ever talk about them again?
We never really got the full story, though. I don't know who did anything scrupulous. I just think there was a disagreement.
Why don't we have investigative journalists here at RotoGrinders? This is a big fantasy sports story.
Well, 3 years ago, I feel like it's kind of fizzled out a little bit.
We need a retrospective. We need something, an explainer video.
You want a 30 for 30, like the RG version of a 30 for 30 on this?
Yeah,
I'd watch it. I'd watch it for the
30 for 30 on this. This is perfect.
What do you do with Robbie Ray?
If he's, I do what Cheese, whatever Cheese does. If he's low owned, I play him. If he's high owned, I don't play him. I don't think people are going to play Robbie Ray today as much as probably they should, because truthfully, based on our sims, Robbie Ray has enough of a chance, close enough to Sonny Gray, that they should be closer owned.
Biggest K rate on the slate is actually Hoglund. That doesn't really count. It's only 6 innings, 31.8%. Again, he was good against Miami. It was Miami. Maybe he's going to be okay. We'll see, but I still think it's an incomplete. Ray and Wu have the same identical K rate, 25.9%. The big difference here is the walk rate, 13.3% for Ray, 4.8% for Wu. That's why Ray's got a Sierra at 4.23 and Wu's got a Sierra at 3.3. You mentioned Gray. Gray's just pretty steady, 24.2%. Again, the matchup today versus Pittsburgh's pretty appealing. You talk about Priester. You mentioned Priester earlier. He's got the lowest K rate at 15.7%. He's got the highest walk rate at 14.8%. Like, those are the pitchers I want to pick on. The lowest K rate, highest walk rate. He's got the highest Sierra. Again, this is kind of like small sample size theater. It's only 20 some innings or so. But Houston's terrible. They're really, really terrible without. I shouldn't say terrible, but just not as good as you want them to be, especially without Jordan. It's all righties taking on Priester. I don't know. I'm not sure. And I like Wu. I don't know how much I want to pick on the Athletics. The back half, sure. The front half can be pretty tough. Framber has not exactly been himself. He's been a little bit uneven this year. He's still getting ground balls. I think a little bit less ground balls than he was. Obviously, that's kind of his bread and butter. 21.6% as far as the Ks. I think it's down from last season a little bit. Any big stance? I think Brown is going to make somebody was asking about Brown and cash. I'm going to run some stuff. I'm fairly certain he's hitting cash lineups on DK as your SB2.
Yeah.
He's got to be one of the top. I didn't even really add any variants. I just want to see what's like, if anything's hitting like 100% or so. Yeah, Sonny Gray is coming in at 100%, and Framber is coming in as well. So, again, I didn't add any like bells and whistles or kind of add some variant stuff, but Gray, Valdez, there's no way I would play Robbie Ray in cash. If you're venturing in cash, there's just no reason to do that in my estimation. Senga's been really, really good this year. Like awesome as far as raw, what does the surface number say? Like the ERA for Senga this season is 1.38, but his Sierra is almost 4. Super lucky as far as left on base, 85%. The BABIP is kind of like reasonable, so he's not been lucky there necessarily. But the homer to fly ball rate is 2.8% blender, 2.8%. That's going to normalize in some way. Like some of those balls are going to go over the fence.
That's not sustainable.
2.8%? No, I don't think so. I
mean, if it is, he's the Hall of Famer.
Yeah, I mean that's a hell of a skill. If he can somehow keep 97% of the baseballs that are in the air in the ballpark, that would be impressive for sure. Anything else of note? Anything else you want to point out as far as again? I'm going to play Gray. I'm stubborn when it comes. Look, I know ownership, yada yada. It's a 5-game slate, so ownership is relative. He's probably going to be on 50% of the rosters. I play a lot of the single entry stuff. He'll be even higher there. Just that's the way ownership condenses on the good stuff, quote unquote. People are less apt to do something off the board in single entry. 3-entry max kind of style contest, but I'm leaning in. He's not amazing, but I think he's good enough, and the Pirates are bad enough. You want to give me a summary as far as pitchers, and then we'll talk about some stacks.
Okay. Well, I mean, I just ran a SimLabs run, and obviously there's still stuff that needs to be updated, so probably make another run in a couple of minutes. But for GBPs, like Ben Brown is just, I'm barely getting any. Ben Brown. And it's likely due to ownership. It's not like he's bad or anything. Just, you don't necessarily need the cash to go down to 7,500. And like he's showing up in like 2% of lineups. The top pitchers, Brian Wu, number 1, and Wu and Valdez by far over Gray. But Gray's still 3rd, and then Ray and Senga underneath that. So to me, like if SimLabs is telling me Wu Valdez types of lineups, truthfully, I mean, even just based on median projections, I don't think you need to play Sonny Gray today. It's possible. I'm not saying
you don't need to. You don't need to.
Right, well, here's the point that I was making is that it's quite possible that all these pitchers get around the same score. Even if Sonny Gray is the top scoring pitcher and he scores 22, and you played Brian Wu and he scored 18, and Framber Valdez scores 20 or something like that, I don't think it's going to make that much of a difference. So it's like I'm not saying that Sonny Gray is going to have a bad game, but I just don't think the range of outcomes between these pitchers is dramatic enough for Sonny Gray to be twice as owned as anyone today. So really, that's what it comes down to. If Sonny Gray was if everyone's playing Brian Wu today, I would say the same thing about Brian Wu. It has nothing to do with the individual pitchers. It's very clear that Sonny Gray is going to be the highest owned pitcher on the slate by a decent margin. And there's nothing from a middle range of outcome, that mean projection, and nothing from the optimal rate in our sims that states that he should be that owned. I still get, to be clear, I ran 150 lineups. I still get 33% Sonny Gray. So, there's still Sonny Gray lineups that you could play that may look different, right, in some other regard, even with a 50% owned pitcher. But I'm playing one lineup today. I'm not playing Sonny Gray.
Are you playing Robbie Ray?
I don't even think I'm playing Robbie Ray. I think I'm playing a combination of either Wu, Valdez, or Senga.
Yeah.
Probably either Wu plus Valdez or Wu plus Senga.
Is there any pitcher you wouldn't play if you were theoretically running 150 lineups?
I'm getting
I think you could play everybody. Like literally,
I'm getting everyone, but the lowest is Merrill Kelly and then Gunnar Hoglund at 7K.
Yeah.
I mean, I know his strikeout rate, whatever. I mean, his strikeout prop is 3.5. He probably doesn't pitch 90 pitches.
On Hoglund? 3.5?
Yeah.
I don't mind the over on that. I don't
3.5 minus 130.
I watched
he's up against the team that has the highest implied run total. I'm playing I'm playing one lineup. It's probably going to be one of two teams, and one of those teams is the Mariners.
I think we just got another lineup. No, we did not. Yeah. William Contreras has been dealing with a finger. I don't know if you were wondering why he was struggling so far this year, but yeah,
I deal with 10 fingers every day.
But are all of them in perfect shape? Because one of Contreras' fingers is not spectacular.
Yeah, but none of my fingers are spectacular.
He makes it work, though.
My fingers, they're normal fingers, but they're not spectacular.
This is why you're not in the major leagues. Otherwise, you would certainly be there.
So that's what's been holding me back. My fingers. All this time, I didn't realize it until he pointed it out. That's what stopped me.
Let's jump to the tier board. I always like doing a show with you, but you set the tiers up. I go in cold, although at pre-show you kind of let the cat out of the bag, kind of sort of somewhat. So I kind of sort of know what
I put effort into my tiers. When I say I'm going to handle it, I
love it. I appreciate it very much. Yeah. So what is today's tier category?
Well, I wasn't on Monday. Right, Monday was Cinco de Mayo. I didn't watch the show. I'm sorry. I don't like you guys enough.
Thanks for supporting the show.
For me to I'll put on crunch time for before the slate just to make sure.
Dean's gone. Let's put it on now.
No, well, I mean, I'm doing Kevin Roth, the weather. That's really all I care about.
I hear you. I understand.
So Cinco de Mayo. I don't know what you did for Cinco de Mayo, but I thought that it would be awesome if you did the same list. I try to take lists more literally than figuratively. So
Mexican food, we power rank Mexican. Me and Chop.
Belated Cinco de Mayo celebration. I ranked the Mayos or the Mayos.
and I was firing some potential options at you before the show, and I was guessing like OJ Mayo or Mayo for
OJ Mayo was on a list yesterday.
Yeah, which is I thought that would be unprecedented if he would somehow make that. Yesterday's list, you're going to like this, Blunder. Yesterday's list was athletes with food names. Athletes with food names. Yeah, it was like Steph Curry, Jerry Rice, Candy Maldonado,
right.
Jim Rice, people like that. Joe Strawberry, Basically, I just wanted to dump on Jake Berger, who's been terrible this year. We threw him in the gutter. He's in AAA. So I was piling. I'm like, Jake Berger's been terrible. Oh, we can make a list out of this. That's how that was born. But chat, feel free to throw out Mayos. I mean, this is not like Hellman's.
It's any Mayo. Any Mayo.
All Mayos, by the way, in the 5-hole for me. Every Mayo's in the 5-hole. But,
okay, well, not every Mayo. Maybe every mayonnaise, but not every Mayo.
Yeah. Correct. Fair. Chipotle Mayo, is that a thing? Is that something's going to be on the board? Producer Steve is speculating.
Put it up on the board.
Well, let's go. Let's go ahead and throw it up on the board. Okay. Pat Mayo. Oh, there you go. Gerard Mayo, the football player.
Right.
Hellman's.
Well, let me explain.
Go ahead. Yeah. I guess
number one is me. I like sushi. And when I get that 2 in a row, I get spicy mayo.
I didn't know that. Go ahead.
Right. So spicy mayo, number one, top of the board. Spicy mayo for my sushi. Then the Mayo Clinic, they do like cancer research.
Sure.
So
of course.
So I mean, this says what type of person I am, that I rank my sushi higher than children's cancer research.
Yeah, I mean that says a lot about you.
Yeah, that says a lot. It's much more important. And then
you're Pat a big
Mayo,
jerk.
Pat Mayo's a nice guy, right? Mayo now. Pat Mayo experience, friend of the show, right? Pat, he's okay. I ain't putting him above cancer research, but Pat's okay. He's fine. Subscribe.
Pat Mayo's
Subscribe
great.
to the Mayo Media Network channel, whatever. Also here on YouTube. And then obviously Hellman's regular Mayo. I don't see what the point of regular Mayo is, unless you're making it to make like Russian dressing or something, Thousand Island dressing, and that's still like whatever. So Hellman's is there, and then Jared Mayo because he sucks as a coach, I guess.
Yeah, he was a really good player, right? I'm pretty sure he was a good player.
Right, but I mean, I know him more as the Patriots coach that sucked.
Fair enough. Okay, yeah. Because
but before the show, Steve thought it was funny because I didn't realize that you just have some deep-seated hatred for mayonnaise.
If you want to call mayonnaise a food, if you're going to call it a food, which I think is a liberal use of the word food, it's the worst food ever. I think it's the worst food. Like, it's number 5.
How was mayonnaise invented? I don't even understand. I don't even understand what it is. It feels like it was some type of cream, like whipped cream. Someone tried to make that, and it just ended up as mayonnaise. And it feels like it could have been something totally better than that.
I don't know. Yeah, an emulation of oil, egg yolk, and an acid, either vinegar or lemon juice. Yeah, I'm not like anti-eggs, but I don't know what the combination.
What was the point? Who originally made? What was the point originally of mayonnaise?
I don't know. Who was the first person to drink milk? Like, that looks delicious. You can
do this all day. RTI overlords would know. You might as well ask them.
Like, who said that? Was that okay to drink? Should we do that?
Part of French cuisine. Okay. Oh, Steve's got the.
We're learning stuff. Yeah.
The backside. We need to put it into work for the investigative journalism on Mike Trout's fantasy league.
The Astros are taking on the Brewers. 7.5 is a total. Quinn Priester taking on Framber Valdez. We do have the lineups out. Nothing really goofy, right? The main guys are in there. Oh, no, Contreras. Yeah, Contreras is not playing for Milwaukee. He's got that finger. But yeah, no Contreras for the Brewers. I don't really, as a general rule, I'm willing to open up my general rules on 5-game slates, 4-game slates, but I shouldn't say never. I don't like to speak in definitives. Very, very rarely, pretty much never, ever stack against Framber Valdez. Just why would I do that? He's not the guy that's going to give up 2 or 3 homers. It happens rarely. Where do you have the Astros and the Brewers? 9 Astros facing Quinn Priester, who's arguably the worst pitcher on the slate, but he will have the platoon advantage throughout the entire, the entirety of his start.
Well, the Astros in our sims are 12% chance of being optimal, which is the 4th highest on the slate. I mean, most stacks are affordable. There are a couple of non-affordable stacks, but they are affordable. In my sim runs, I'm getting a lot of Astros. I don't think they're going to be particularly high owned. I mean, they have a 4 total, and half the teams on the slate don't even have that.
I think you're supposed to. Yeah, it's as bad as they have been.
From a leverage standpoint, I mean, they rate out well. I would put them in the clinic tier.
Astros in the clinic. Where do you have the Brewers?
The Brewers are I mean, let me see. Barely getting any Brewers in SimLabs. You had 3.6% chance of being optimal. Not the greatest of value. Yeah, Milwaukee. It's 10 teams. It's hard to put anyone on the bottom, but now Milwaukee in the Hellmans. Milwaukee is Mayo. It's Mayo, Milwaukee.
Do you consider like Dukes or all mayonnaise kind of basically? Do you have like a favorite brand?
What brand? What would be the difference? I don't know.
I don't know
either. If you could tell the difference between brands of mayonnaise, you have taste buds of like, I don't know what. You should be on you should go on some cooking show because you'd be able to taste anything at that point.
Apparently, Alan is saying Hellman's, they use the cage-free eggs, which are much more delicious.
What's the difference taste-wise? Does that matter taste-wise?
They taste a little bit better. Yeah, they taste a little. You can tell the chicken's just a little bit happier.
Their freedom. You could what?
I heard. I'm not a mayo guy either. I'll eat it, but I don't go for it. I heard Duke's mayo is more tangy because remember I showed you the definition. I think they might use lemon juice instead of vinegar.
Yeah.
I think you might. If you like Mayo, I think if you really like Mayo, you might be able to tell the difference between Dukes and Hellman's.
Is Miracle Whip actually mayonnaise, or it's? I feel like it's like an off.
No, it's like an alternative. It's like margarine to butter. It's not the same.
Yeah.
The thing about mayo is that typically it's a thing that's on with tons of other things. I've eaten mayo because I'll get it on a turkey, bacon, lettuce, whatever, like it's on. But
people dip their fries in it. According to Pulp Fiction.
Oh no, I don't. Okay, I'm more on your side, Dean. Like anything that I have mayo with, it's with other. I can't taste the mayo. I just know. Oh, there's some type of thing there, right? Mustard you could taste, right? But mayo is just like there's like provolone cheese. Like provolone cheese is just like I would put cheese there just for the hell of it.
Don't besmirch provolone.
No, I mean I don't mind provolone, but it doesn't really taste like much. It tastes like it's a bland, soft cheese. That's it. You don't you don't have a provolone sandwich by itself. That doesn't make any sense.
Well, you have to have some meat. You can't just have a cheese sandwich.
Well, that's the point that I'm making.
Yeah. The Giants are in Chicago. 7 is the total. That's right. 7. It is a paltry total. Despite the fact the Cubs have the best offense in baseball, arguably. Ben Brown taking on Robbie Ray. We've talked about this already. No Chicago lineup just yet. The high variance of Robbie Ray. We do know that the weather conditions in Chicago are not suitable for banging out homers. That doesn't mean the Cubs won't do it. But in 69 previous games with this particular weather, homers have taken a hit at 35%, 14% runs less in 69 previous games. Again, 13-mile-per-hour winds basically from dead center. I think you're supposed to play some Cubs, and you're supposed to play some Robbie Ray on this small of a slate. I'm only making so many lineups, so I think I'm going to do one of each at least. How about yourself?
I'm doing the opposite. I don't think you have to play either of them.
Just ignoring the whole thing.
Well, you don't have to ignore it, but I mean, the Cubs 7.22% chance to being optimal. They're like very expensive to play. I know that Robbie Ray is a high variance pitcher. Barely getting any Chicago Cubs in SimLabs. I mean, I put him down. I put the Cubs in Hellman's, and actually, the Giants are coming up a decent amount. The Giants are in this pack of teams that have at least a 10% chance of being optimal. And nothing like ridiculously stands out amongst these teams. But Ben Brown is probably going to be over-owned. So you get a little extra leverage. That's the reason why the Giants are
popping. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, truthfully, I'm playing one lineup. I'm not sure if I'm going to play the Giants, but I have to put them in spicy mayo. They got, from the ownership.
That's a spicy take.
I mean, it's just because if Ben Brown's going to be like 35% owned, the Giants are barely.
Right, ownership is up, Blender. Just not to cut you off, but ownership is up 37%. Ray at 50%, Valdez 27%, Ray 26%, Wu 23%. I'm surprised Wu is 20%. I guess because people are a little bit afraid of the Athletics, and that ballpark is tough to pitch in, especially considering where he's coming from. That pitcher's paradise in Seattle. But go ahead, continue.
Right. I mean, it's like I don't think the Giants are going to be very owned at all. So,
no,
like,
not at all.
It just like I'm just looking. I've given in to our AI overlords. So if I'm wrong, blame them. But like the top stacks on this slate are the Mets, the Mariners, the Cardinals, the Astros, and the Giants. And the difference between like all of them
you didn't say Athletics.
You think Athletics? No, not at all. Only they're so expensive. Remember, salary matters, right? We live in the world of a salary cap, Dean.
Not that much on this slate. Not that much.
Oh, but who are you going to play?
I can get an Oakland stack with 2 good pitchers pretty easily.
Yeah, sure. If you play the bottom of their order.
Oakland. Athletics.
You want to play the bottom of the order for the A's? I don't.
I don't know, but I want to get the good player.
$4,100 Jacob Wilson. No,
you're not. He's a contact hitter. Okay, he doesn't really. Yeah, he's just he doesn't walk. He doesn't strike out. He's a part of a stack guy, but
Yeah, but I mean,
I don't want to play him.
If you're going to play anyone, you're going to be playing Rooker and Soderstrom and Butler. I mean,
Butler. Yeah. I can play those guys. Yeah, hold on. I'm going to build this lineup now as we're doing the show.
I'm not saying you can't. You could shove in some. You could. Yeah, if you find some 2K guy. Yeah, if you play Christian Cross, you play Chris Cross. You play Chris Cross at second base at 2,100.
I missed the bus.
Play whoever you want.
It's an old school reference for the people. You're a big crisscross guy. Back in the day, Blender, fess up, admit it. You wore your clothes backwards at least one time.
No, I didn't. I didn't have cool pants like that.
Yeah, I didn't. Neither did I. That was the thing, though. Maybe producer Steve can get show the people for the youngs or the olds. But no, Steve, show that's just a video, but show a picture of them wearing their clothes backwards. That was the fashion trend that they started. Yeah, they wore the outfit backwards, and that was a thing that people did. Not me and Blender, we weren't cool enough, but other people did. Okay, did you put a ranking here as far as where we're throwing the Giants? Yeah, there it is. Well, wait, no, hold on. Yeah, that's the front. they're looking the other way, but that is there. You go. That's the fashion trend.
The Giants should be in the Mayo Clinic. Like it's spice. I mean, truthfully, it probably should be spicy Mayo, but it's just like the Giants have one of the lower team totals. It's kind of weird for me to put them. Like their upside is not that high. So yeah. So Steve, move them to the cancer research section with the Astros.
It's Christian cost, by the way.
Yeah, I just looked at it and said it's crisscross.
You took some liberties. There.
Cubs? Where are the Cubs?
What about the Cubs?
The Cubs. I'm not getting much of the Cubs. I put the Cubs in Hellman's.
Alexander saying any particular Giants. I would just say the good ones. Like you don't have to. If you're playing the Giants, just play the good ons.
What it takes, Dean. That's why people come here.
No, because sometimes it's like, well, this is the popular stack.
That's what I should do. You can get away with it. I might as well just record a video for SimLabs. I'm going to do it for the late slate. Or just
play the good
like
players.
A minute long. Just, what player should I play? Just play the good ones.
I'm saying don't play Sam Huff or Christian Koss is what I'm saying. If you're going to play Giants, just play, Yaz and Adames and Lee and Chapman. There you go. I know I'm oversimplifying it, but yeah.
Vastly oversimplifying it.
But I'm not playing. If Sam Huff gets there, whatever, I don't care. It costs, so whatever. I'm not playing those. I'm not playing the Giants just as is. I don't play enough lineups. I understand why you are, but I'm not doing that. But if you are, like, if you're playing the Giants, you're not playing the bad guys. You're playing the good guys. Sometimes you do play the bad guys, like the generic dude. You just play the bad guys.
Will be the low owned anyway, so it's not like you have to worry about ownership.
Mariners, Athletics. No, I skipped the game somehow. Right? Pittsburgh and the Cardinals. Sonny Gray taking on Mitch Keller, 7.5 total. Most popular pitcher on the slate is almost definitely going to be Sonny Gray. The Pirates, its own El Cruz and a bunch of dudes. McCutchen was once really good. Great career. Brian Reynolds is pretty good. But if you're going to play the Pirates, Blender, play the good guys. Don't play Adam Frazier. What do you got? Pirates and Cardinals.
Pirates put in that for a leverage standpoint. Like the Pirates rate out as good as like the Diamondbacks and the Cubs. So the P for Pat Mayo, right? So we put the Pirates in the middle, primarily for leverage. And St. Louis, according to SimLabs, I'm getting the most of.
Oh,
so the Cardinals are in spicy Mayo territory, and they're not going to be the most owned team on the slate. So I think that the Cardinals, I as of right now, I'm maybe I'm going to play two lineups, but I mean the Cardinals will at least be one of my lineups.
Cubs lineup: Happ, Tucker, Suzuki, Kelly, Turner, Horner, PCA, that's Crow Armstrong, Swanson, and Birdie. All right. 2 more games to go. Crunch time coming in momentarily. Spidey Bums, while they are scrolling, James Wood is 7-1. Where is he 7-1? That seems like an awesome number. I know it's left on left, but his power is immense. Whenever you can get James Wood at 7-1, that's pretty strong. Not knowing anything else. I didn't dig into that game for what it's worth, but just knowing that is appealing. Wu versus Hoagland. 9.5 total. This will be Hoagland's second career start. He was very good against the Marlins in Miami. Good for him. Mariners, tougher competition, tougher ballpark as well out there in Sacramento. No lineups just yet. This game does not start for over 3 hours. How we seeing? What do you got, Steve?
I just wanted to clarify for your plus 700. I just checked scores and odds. If you're not signed up, go sign up. It's also free. Check the odds. Wood is plus 700 on Bet365 if you have that book.
Where's the other places? Like 5-1? Have you noticed?
Let me see quick.
I would assume it's, I don't want to say significantly less, but
I just
seems like,
odds compare. Let's see. 625 at MGM, 560 at FanDuel, and that's all we're showing right now.
Okay. Yeah.
And our projection for actual what it should be is plus 450. So getting 700 is a steal. If you have Bet365, go take that.
Yeah. Yeah, and Allen's kind of a fly ball pitcher as well, for what it's worth. I'm not sure if it splits off the top of my head. But Mariners, Athletics, what do you got?
Athletics, I'm playing Brian Wu, so I'm not playing the Athletics. I don't think on a small slate like this, I don't think anyone gets in. Jared Mayo gets no one here. So I put the A's and the Hellmans also. I mean, if anything, technically it would go on the bottom. And the Mariners are the Mariners in the Mayo Clinic. The Mariners have the second highest chance of being optimal according to our Sims, 16.5%. But they actually may be a little bit over-owned, and that's the reason I'm getting a little bit less of them in SimLabs. So be careful. So what that says is, like, be careful on the Sonny Gray Mariners stack combinations in combination. I think Gray is over-owned. I think the Mariners are a little bit over-owned. So in combination, that probably wouldn't be a tandem that I play.
This is where I'm not encouraging it, but this is where, like, you can play the quote unquote bad Mariners to be a little bit different, or like a wraparound Mariners or something like that. But yeah, you could play guys like Rivas if he cracks the lineup, or Williamson, Master Buoni. Mets and Arizona, 9.5. Roof is closed. Merrill Kelly taking on Kodai Senga. Talk about Senga a little bit. Senga's been super, super lucky this year as far as the ERA. It's under 2. Arizona lineup is out. There is no Ketel Marte, which is certainly a boost to Senga. Also, Moreno is out. He was a late scratch last night. And the note on that was like manager's decision, which is weird because didn't he make the lineup? I don't know if something happened from like when he made the lineup and when he was scratched, but they said it was manager's decision, and now he's not playing today. What do you got, Steve?
Hip and side tightness.
Okay. All right.
And apparently, that's vague.
He's got a hip and a side.
Well, apparently he was available off the bench last night, from what I read, and they were just winning, so they didn't need to put him in. I guess just because he was slightly hurt, they're going to give him a rest again today. But I would assume if he was available off the bench last night, he will be again.
Yeah, which is weird because typically, I guess they don't have another catcher, but typically they rest the catcher day game after a night game, that kind of thing. But Herrera's got to go back-to-back here in the 9-hole for Arizona. No Mets lineup just yet, but we're assuming the usual suspects unless otherwise noted. How do you feel about the Mets and the Diamondbacks? That's probably one of the more talented lineups to play, and Merrill Kelly is a veteran. He can eat some innings, but we're not afraid of him, right?
No, I leave the Mets spicy Mayo. The Mets are the top stack of the slate. Highest chance of being optimal, 19.38%, according to our Sims. About properly owned. They'll be one of the more chalky teams also. I don't think any of these teams really like stand out as like over, the others. Like probably the Mets and the Mariners will be the two most owned teams. And then we'll get, middle of the pack type of teams that we mentioned before. So I wouldn't be concerned about playing the Mets today. Diamondbacks a little expensive. I'd rather play Senga than the Diamondbacks. So I'm going to put the Diamondbacks in Hellmans as well. The only reason there's no Jared Mayo teams is because it's a small enough slate that if you wanted to play any of the teams in the Hellmans tier, I wouldn't call you crazy, right? Typically when we're doing like 12-game slates, you have to look at teams and go, there's no chance in the world that I play this.
Why are the A's and Hellmans? Like, if Woo's going to be fairly owned and the A's are good, and
Woo's going to be underowned. Woo's going to be underowned. Yeah, he's going to be owned, but he's going to be like the 4th or 5th pitcher.
Okay, yeah, I guess I'm thinking about 24%, but you got to put it in the context of there's only 10 dudes throwing baseball, so it's not a monster number. I believe we have an update as far as ownership stuff as well. I guess as of like 20 minutes ago or so. Of course, this might change as we close.
Are you just dying, Dean? It seems like you're dying to play Nick Kurtz for some reason. Like, what are we doing with the?
I want to make that happen. Well, again, I don't know if you know, but like Kurtz is one of the biggest prospects in baseball. Majors. I don't think he has a barrel yet. He almost got there last night. It was very, very close, and he hit one to the warning track. But in theory, it's going to break out at some point. I keep trying to make it happen, but if you're martingaling Kurtz, you're probably like crashing on your friend's couch because it's not been a good start for him. Let's go ahead and recap the board. I'll recap the board. We have crunch time coming in momentarily. What I'm going to do is, I know you did a deep dive earlier today as far as your favorite homers. This is one of your favorite things to talk about. So if you can give me a couple of people that are going to hit a home run, that you like. I know you have TJ's got the Spidey. You have your own particular formula.
I have to bring it up. I have to bring up my super premium,
Pete Alonso
of. I need to find it first.
I got the Magic 8 Ball. Do you have a Magic 8 Ball as well?
Oh, I got something better than a Magic 8 Ball. I didn't even bring it up yet.
The bat?
Yeah.
That's what you use? Who's most likely to homer? According to the bat, can I guess who's most likely to hit a homer?
Why don't you just tell? Why am I even looking for this? Because I didn't know you were going to ask me this, so I didn't bring up the screen.
Didn't know? You haven't done the show before?
Just tell me what my pick is, Dean.
Why don't you just tell me the name of the movie you want to see? Is that what you're doing? I feel like that's what you're doing.
From Seinfeld. Yeah.
Movie phone. Yeah. Well, I think it's probably going to be Pete Alonso. Is he the most likely guy?
There you go. Oh,
is that who it is?
Grant would be so happy because apparently anytime I look on Grant's Twitter feed, he's whatever. You could just replay the TikTok of him calling for Pete Alonso at plus 360 or something or whatever. Like it just
Pete Alonso.
Of people, all I see are the comments of Pete Alonso again, and him having to yell at people, going, "If they're going to keep on putting up this price, I'm just going to bet him every day."
I like when they say you keep picking the same guys. It's like, well, it's based on math. It's based on math. Like it's not my fault.
Why is it always O'Neal Cruz and Pete Alonso?
Yeah.
This year every day is almost, since I make the videos. Brent Rooker is almost every day.
Yeah. Is there a video out today?
He's the new Pete Alonso.
Oh.
I think Rooker stole 2 bases last night, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think he banged one out. He did get a double. I was going to say I think Rooker should probably be in the conversation of top 4 or 5 guys that you would pick off. You like the low-hanging fruit, the most likely to homer. Let's recap the board. Let's bring in crunch time. Spicy. By the way, Stevie in chat, he'll be jumping on in a second here with TJ and Roth. He's asking what this board is. He has the 5 things and he couldn't piece it together. If you want to give him the business for that, but
he knew it was Mayo's. He's just saying that. I mean, this bid has lasted a long time. To come up with new ideas it's really tough.
Well, what's Stevie's idea? What's his big idea? All right, we got to have Stevie rank some kind of like. Actually, I never really do shows with him. It seems he's always on the crossover, but maybe something NASCAR related. Spicy, you have Spicy with St. Louis and the Mets. Mayo Clinic has Houston, San Fran, Seattle. All by himself is Pat Mayo. Hellman's is the most popular tier. It's Milwaukee, the Cubs, the Athletics, the D-backs, and Gerard Mayo. He was fired, and now he's all by his lonesome. So you put nobody in the bottom tier, mostly because it's, there's 10 teams, and you can play whoever you want. I was trying to get that.
He was good with the sounds before. And now you want.
I was trying to talk slow and try to get there. It's
not like its own tab. I got to scroll. It's hard. Sorry.
Oh, it's a whole thing. It's a whole production. I don't know the setup. So
hold on. Ready?
Play wherever you want.
There you go. With that, we'll go ahead. We'll bring in crunch time. We're bringing Stevie out of the bullpen. Bring in TJ. Stevie, the lefty, the righty? Not sure. Kevin Roth. He's ambidextrous. Chief meteorologist Kevin Roth. By the way, when is Doppler Boy going to debut? Because I've seen the video. Have you guys seen Doppler Boy? Maybe Roth will talk about it now. Let's go ahead and bring in crunch time. Roth, are you aware? I'm sure you've heard. It's a banger, as Grant would say. Have you heard Doppler Boy? I guess I don't know the backstory. You might know the backstory. But
there is no backstory. I hate it. I hate it so much.
Oh, you don't like it?
Oh, no,
I don't even know what this is. What's Doppler Boy?
Tell Blunder what Doppler Boy is.
Producer Steve, who I love so much, found all of these clips of me doing the weather, and someone had like a Chat GTP write a rap song about me, and now there's an entire music video. It's absolute shenanigans.
Is it on your Twitter or something? Can I watch this?
I think it's on the main RotoGrinders account. I refuse to retweet it out of principle.
I could.
Oh, come on.
I could play it like right now, but
come on, play
a little. You play the first like 30-40 seconds.
At least get the hook. We got to get the hook. Stopper boy.
When we switch over, Blender, when you guys leave, because it's processing right now in StreamYard. So give me like 2 minutes.
Okay.
It's working its way up Billboard right now. So
we can't mention it and have the people not know what the hell it is. We got to show it.
I thought we were going to play it in the crossover one of these days. What do you got, Kevin?
Dean, I am ambidextrous, so that was you were probably kidding, but
Are
actually
really?
True. Yeah, I do all sports lefty and I write righty, so I think that counts. I think that's ambidextrous.
Can you throw a baseball with both hands?
No.
TJ, is that ambidextrous? I don't know if that is. Partially.
I can. I would say maybe not like partially ambidextrous. When I think fully ambidextrous, I think like equal with both hands. I have a friend who is genuinely like left hand and right hand. He can shoot a basketball almost as well with his left and his right. He can throw a football with his left and his right, a baseball with his left and his right. So I'd say like, fully ambidextrous, it's even, but if you can do with both, it's partially.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Kevin.
I was just soccer, basketball, everything left-handed for sports, left-footed, left-handed, writing, eating, anything that requires more dexterity. Am I right?
Interesting. Yeah.
I feel like that counts. I don't know.
Billy Wagner broke his hand when he was like 5 or 6 years old, and he just learned how to throw with his other hand and became a Hall of Fame pitcher. Yeah. He's throwing with his off hand.
Yeah.
Billy Wagner. I can't remember how old he was when he broke his hand, but he broke his hand and like when he was really young, 5, 6, 7 or something like that. All right. The people want to hear Doppler Boy. I imagine they've had enough of myself and Blender. You guys have 50 minutes. You have plenty of time. It's 5 gamers, so we're not keeping the people. FanDuel is already started, and they leave off the last 2 games for savings, and the contests weren't spectacular. We didn't really talk about it, but people have FanDuel questions by all means. But Roth, you're probably going to be focusing on DK stuff because DK lock is not for 40+ minutes or so. Blender, you got anything else for the people before we step aside and get out of here?
Nope, I'm going to go record my SimLabs video for the late slate. Tune into that, and then obviously subscribe and hit that thumbs up button.
I'll be back later, by the way, 5 o'clock for the night slate. Roth, take it away.
Doppler boy up in the spot. Yo! Check the clouds, what the weather got. Let's go. Kevin Roth on the beat, that's hot. Okay. Rain delay, man, we dodging that lot. Doppler boy, Doppler boy, Doppler boy. Whoa, I check the radar, then I go. Zoom. DFS cash flow, that's for sure. Cha-ching. Got that green screen glowing like whoa. Hopped on RotoGrinders forecast tight. Kevin Roth say plays delayed tonight. I pivot that stack, I take flight. No rain risk, now my build just right. I ain't guessing, nah, I'm precision. What? Weather edge, turning dimes to a mission. Let's go. Roof open, nah, that's a decision. Kevin got me winning, that's straight intuition. Doppler boy up in the spot. Hey. Check the clouds, what the weather got. Woo. Kevin Roth on the beat, that's hot. Fire. Rain delay, man, we dodging that lot. Zoom, zoom, Doppler.
Okay, all right. You get it, right? It goes on. It continues, but you get it. Yeah. So there it is. That's Doppler Boy. TJ, what did you think about my rap debut?
I always knew you had some rap abilities in there. So honestly, it's not surprising.
Yeah. All right. With that out of the way, hopefully we literally never have to see that again. But honestly, shout out to everybody who did put in like kind of a lot of work to do that. The full video is on the RotoGrinders Twitter if you would like to see the rest of it. I think it's actually pinned at the top. What's up, guys? Welcome to Crunch Time. You know the drill. It's 2 of the sharpest minds in the biz. We got the aforementioned TJ in the house. What up, bud?
Not too much. Ready to dive into today's slate. Had a really nice night and day last night with Grant's turd bombs mixed in with a few of my own picks and had a bunch of parlays that went really well. So had a nice night last night. Hopefully we can keep that going today. And anytime I'm not like the main host, like when you're here and I'm also not producing, I'm just chilling. This is fun. Like this is easy. I got my lineups made. We're ready to go.
Very good. Well, I'm excited to hear you kind of dive into things with your solo focus just on content. Steve, by the way, saying he put 3+ hours into creating that and pulling all the clips. Thank you. I appreciate it, Steve. I don't mean to knock it. It's embarrassing for me. I don't like seeing myself. We got Stevie in the house as well. What up, Stevie? How are you?
What's up? I have so many better videos of Kevin Roth that are not appropriate
Jesus.
for.
Don't I know it? Don't I know it? Yeah.
Man, CJ, I don't know if Siege still has them, but he has a lot of videos of me too. So we back in the like early RG days, Kevin Roth's an OG like myself. We had some fun. So yeah,
Well,
don't be embarrassed. That videos.
There was no corporate structure. The parties were just like, here's all the booze in the world, and just act like idiots. And unfortunately, cell phones were around at that time.
And we were young too. Like we were a lot younger. So I mean, we were in that like age where we could drink all night and then get up and watch football the next day all day. And I remember one time I was playing golf with like some people from FanDuel, and we were at the craps table until like 5, and I had to tee time at like 7. So yeah, that was miserable. But
did you make the tee time?
I did. Yeah, I didn't sleep. We had a crazy craps night that night. I don't remember if you were there for that one or not. I know Cal was there. It was wild. It was the last like 2 rolls, and me and Dillinger from FanDuel rolled like 30+ in back-to-back rolls when they said it was the last 2 rolls, and they were so mad. They were so angry, the casino people. So it was good times.
Nice. All right. Well, we got to dive into content today. Weather-wise, there's nothing until the later games. I do believe Chicago is on this slate, correct? The Wrigley game?
Yes.
Love the pitching weather there. I realize that teams have been absolutely demolishing the ball in Wrigley as of late. That's been with winds blowing in at like 5 miles per hour. Today, it's like 15. So if there are any viable pitchers in that game, I most certainly like them. And that's really it. That's my whole weather spiel. Let's dive into the rest of it. TJ, you get to lead us off. Yeah, Steve and TJ missed out. They were in like middle school. So I mean, I don't even know if they were in high school at that point.
I already was playing DFS and watching some RotoGrinders when I was in RotoGrinder shows when I was in high school through my dad's account. That's how I got started. He said like, "Hey, what if this is a fun little activity for us? I'll pay for everything and make the teams, but you tell me who to put on the teams."
Look what it turned into.
I would do the research and he would fund it.
Fictional story. This never happened.
It's not illegal. I didn't actually play. I didn't actually play. I didn't do any physical playing. It was the adult. I just told him who to play.
Good point.
I was being an analyst in training.
Right. This is fully legal. And if it's not, then it's a joke. He's kidding. If it's not fully legal, he's kidding. TJ, let's dive into it. Let's talk about some of the pitchers. I mentioned I love the weather in Chicago, but I have no idea who's pitching there. So why don't you walk me through it all?
Yeah, so it's a decent pitching slate considering it's a small slate. There's nobody that stands out as like, wow, what an incredible play. But there's a lot of guys who are very playable and very decent. In that weather game, we have Ben Brown going up against San Francisco, and we have Robbie Ray going up against the Cubs. So 2 very viable pitchers. I never really want to play anybody against the Cubs. But because it's Robbie Ray and it doesn't really matter who he faces, he, as Cheese likes to say, if he's low owned, play him. If he's high owned, fade him. And he can be terrible against anybody, or he can be lights out against anybody. And so I will get to some Robbie Ray and Ben Brown today. Ben Brown's actually tied for my highest owned pitcher. And then Sonny Gray is the guy that's going to be the chalkiest one. He is the guy that you are for sure playing in cash games today. SP2, you kind of have a few different options on DraftKings, but Sonny Gray is absolutely the cash game option today. I will be still playing him, but I will be underweight to the rest of the field in tournaments. I'll also be underweight on Framber Valdez, and then I'm going to be overweight on Brian Wu and Quinn Priester as my cheap option, because although he doesn't strike anybody out, he's very good at getting ground balls against righties, and the entirety of Houston's team is right-handed. They don't have a single lefty in there today, and only like 3 or 4 of the righties are actually any good. And so I will be playing Quinn Priester today and just kind of hoping he can strike out 3 or 4, but pitch 7 innings with a ton of ground balls.
Okay. Seems like we have a decent amount of options here. Stevie, what are some of your favorites?
Yeah, I mean, Sonny Gray is just way underpriced on DraftKings, and most of us are playing on DraftKings because FanDuel like split their slates and the prize pools are really small. So, like, if we're looking on DK, Sonny Gray makes a ton of sense today. I mean, there's ways you can get different with bats on a smaller slate. So, just kind of playing him as my SP1. I like Brian Wu at the top. It doesn't seem like he's going to get as much ownership because it seems like a lot of people are going to Ben Brown. So, like the idea of paying up to be a little different. And it's not even like it's different. Like Brian Wu is still projected for like 24%. So it's not like you're getting a 10% owned guy like Liberatore yesterday. So I like those guys. Robbie Ray is the guy that I'm out on in this spot. When we're looking at the Cubs, I mean, they're the second highest team in WRC plus against left-handed pitching this season. They have the second lowest strikeout rate against left-handed pitching, and they have the third highest walk rate. I mean, I get the weather is good pitching conditions, but you still have to pitch and you still have to be good. And the Cubs are just good. This lineup, like top to bottom, is just good. I mean, so they do have John Birdie in there, so maybe one hitter that's not great in the lineup, but I mean, the Cubs have been one of the best, if not the best, baseball offense all season. So it's really hard to get excited about playing Robbie Ray, even with the good pitching conditions. Because I mean, yeah, I mean, you highlighted it on the weather page. Weather Edge has highlighted it. You still have to throw baseballs at the end of the day. Like it's still.
And I think it's important to remember that the weather mostly only impacts home runs. And some of these games, the Cubs are just singles, doubles, triples. They're not just doing it with home runs. They can get 10+ runs even without the use of the long ball. So I fully get that.
Yeah, and like Robbie Ray struggles with command and walks from time to time, and this is a team that walks a ton. So like they can get 25 pitches in back-to-back innings on him, and he's at 50 pitches to like 2 or 3 innings, and they're like, now I'm only getting 4 or 5 innings out of Robbie Ray. I really need him to rack up the strikeouts, which they don't do. So his ownership is the one that I'm kind of fading here. We have him projected at 26%. That's the guy that I'm going to just fade on this early slate. So Ben Brown, I think, is fine. The Giants, they scored like 15 million runs in the 10th inning or 11th inning last night. In the top, it was the weirdest thing. Like the pitcher that came in for the Cubs, like gave up 8 runs in the top of the inning without getting an out. So it was wild. But yeah, I mean, the only name that else I want to talk about here is Hoagland from the Athletics. Like this dude was a huge prospect 2-3 years ago, 2022 so 3 years ago. A huge prospect, was throwing like high 90s, was part of the Chapman trade, and had elbow or Tommy John, and he's back up to about 94 miles an hour. He has this really good sinker. I don't know if this is necessarily the spot to play him on this slate with this matchup against Seattle, but don't just like instantly write off Hoagland. I know like Seattle's one of the most popular stacks on this slate, but this guy might actually be pretty good if he's getting back closer to his 2022 like velocity and movement. It's still way too early to tell, but he dominated the Marlins, which is not hard to do. But I just want to say, like, a lot of people are stacking against him today, and I don't hate the stack, but it's not my favorite stack.
Interesting, and certainly something to look forward to next time he's out. Maybe he gets a better matchup, and things kind of come together for us. Okay, good stuff. Let's talk about some of the stacks that we do like, Stevie. So start at the top. What's your favorite?
Yeah, I mean, my favorite stat today is the Mets. I like the spot a lot. Merrill Kelly, he doesn't miss bats. Producer Steve's going to love this one, but love the spot for the Mets today. They've disappointed a ton in Arizona where they've gotten a ballpark upgrade this series. I'm going to go right back to the well. Maybe the third time's the charm. Again, I think Seattle is a team that's getting a ton of ownership today. I think it's way too early to tell if like Hoagland is bad or not. But yeah, I mean, my favorite stack, Mets, my second favorite stack today is going to be St. Louis. Mitch Keller is just he's not even close to where he was. His velocity is way down, almost a mile an hour. His whiff rate on like a lot of his pitches are down anywhere from like 8 to 15%. Like he went from an average strikeout pitcher to like a well below average strikeout pitcher. He struggles with lefties, and we got enough lefties in the Cardinals lineup that I really like the Cardinals today. I hate playing the Cardinals because I feel like they disappoint more than most. Them and the Royals, but I like the spot against Keller. Velocity down, hard contact up, everything that we're kind of looking for here.
Quick note, you mentioned the Cubs guy that got absolutely shelled the other night. Dean pointing out Ryan Presley had his ERA go from 2.08 to 7.62 after giving up 8 earned and no outs in the 11th inning.
They were just hitting everything he threw. I was watching the game because I needed the Cubs to complete a parlay last night, and I was like, oh, we got a chance, and nope.
No.
They just hit every single pitch he was throwing. It was wild.
Brutal. All right, TJ, your favorite stacks, bud?
Mets are number 1 for me as well by a fairly wide margin today. Pete Alonso will get there, but he is my top highest owned back by a fairly wide margin today. Mets 1. I'm actually getting to in my most recent build. I am doing another one right now, just making sure I do get a little bit more St. Louis because I was lighter on them than I wanted to be. But 2 for me is Seattle. 3 is Arizona. Going up against Ben Brown. Ben Brown's going to be my highest owned pitcher, but I am also going to play a ton of Arizona. Or sorry, not against Ben Brown. Going up against Senga. Senga's been really, really good this year, but as Cheese noted in his article, and they were talking about a little bit on the show as well, he's kind of due for a little bit of negative regression here, it looks like. And so Arizona is just a top-tier offense and not going all that highly owned today. So I'm getting to a lot of Arizona. And then Athletics 4, Cubs 5, and St. Louis actually fell to 6 for me. Because it's a small slate and I'm playing 150 lineups, every offense is in my pool, but I have like less than 5% of Houston, the Giants, Pittsburgh, and Milwaukee, and then 10 to 15% Arizona, Seattle, Athletics, St. Louis, and the Cubs, and 20+% of the Mets. They're my number 1 by a very, very high margin.
Okay, good stuff, guys. We want to go around the horn. Then we want to give you some home run calls. Then we want to answer some questions. But before we do that, I want to make sure you're getting the best deal in the biz. And that's right here with RotoGrinders. MLB DFS annual option. It's $425, or as you may better know it, 60,850 yen. What a steal. However, we dropped the price of our Combo Pro to mirror the MLB annual package. You get more stuff for the same price. Combo 6 months gives you access to content, tools, projections for every sport except NASCAR at a cheaper price than the monthly package. And save 35% by doing 6 month as opposed to month by month by month. 35% is some significant savings, so I highly recommend you check that out. TJ, let's start a catcher. What do we got? Is Big Dumper on the slate? Because play him. Play that dude.
How did you have the yen conversion ready so fast?
Producer Steve, actually, before the show, producer Steve slacked me that because he knows that I tried to come up with a new way to say dollars every time. So he's just going above and beyond and slacked me the yen conversion for my read, which is just like top tier stuff.
Steve is going away because he's for a little bit, and I'm going to be taking his like weekday roles for a while, and he's just absolutely setting me up for disaster here. Like, how am I supposed to live up to that?
Yeah, he's like slacking me things about my read. He made a 3-hour video about Doppler Boy. Like, it's big shoes to fill, man.
Yeah, I'm screwed. Catcher position, yes, Cal Raleigh is my highest owned guy by far. He is going to be the chalkiest option today at the center position, catcher position, but I'm going to be over the field on him. I have about 31% Raleigh right now. Langeliers is my next guy, and then Carson Kelly. But outside of, I think, Raleigh and Langeliers, it's only in stack guys for me.
Okay. Stevie?
Yeah, I mean, Cal Riley, again, Seattle getting a lot of love. I get that. I like Diaz going way down here. I like saving money at catcher most slates, and I think Diaz has a lot of upside. Priester is a ground ball pitcher, but he doesn't miss bats. Diaz, he's going to get a lot of contact in this spot, so we'll see if it's going to be good contact or bad contact, but at 3,400, I'm willing to take some shots. Paez for St. Louis. I like the Cardinals stack just in general, so if you're stacking the Cardinals, I'd like that. Alvarez for the Mets. We don't know if Alvarez is going to be in there or not yet because the lineup's not out, so Torrens might be in there at 3,300. I would prefer Diaz or Paez at that point, but that's kind of it for me. I think catcher is kind of okay.
Okay. Let's go to first.
I mean, it's the polar bear. It's Pete Alonso as much as possible today for me. I think he's the top hitter in the slate today. Just love this spot for him. Love the Mets. Here we go again with the Mets. But outside of him, I don't really love anything else. I'm playing Pete Alonso as much as I possibly can. Maybe Josh Naylor against Senga. Go down to maybe like a Contreras in that St. Louis stack against Keller at 3.5K. Like I said, I like the Cardinals. Or just go all the way down to like a Nick Kurtz, big prospect against Wu. Going to have no ownership. Could see Rowdy Tellez as like a punt first baseman getting some ownership in the Seattle stacks because he's 2.5K and he kind of makes everything work. So I think I handled everything or covered everything there. But again, Pete Alonso, by far my favorite.
Okay. TJ, your thoughts at first, please. Pete Alonso, he's your favorite.
He did very much cover everything. The only two cheap options that I'd want to add as potential players you can go with in GPPs, Rhys Hoskins, got in cleanup today. It's a tough matchup against Valdez, but Hoskins is a fly ball hitter, can bang out a home run against anybody. And then Christian Walker has been terrible to start the year, but I will get a little bit of him as well. Having said that, Contreras, Naylor, Hoskins are my second, third, and fourth highest owned first baseman, and they do not, if you combine their ownership, it's still less than the Pete Alonso that I have. So he is by far my highest owned bat today, and agreed with Stevie, probably the number one bat on the slate.
Okay, second base, TJ.
Absolute garbage trash position. Play Brendan Donovan in cash, and then if you're not playing Brendan Donovan, just play whoever is in your stack. I have most Donovan, but then getting to next is Jeff McNeil, Tim Tawa, Miles Mastrobuoni. Like, it's a really bad position.
Yeah. Okay. That was quick and easy and not fun. Stevie, second.
Isn't it like that every slate though? I feel like second base has become that position where like there's more catcher plays than second basemen's now. It's just wild. McNeil, if you want to save money at 3.4K, if you don't want to play him in the outfield, I definitely prefer playing him at second. He should be in the lineup here. Donovan, like TJ said, if you want to pay up for him, sure. The other name that I'll throw out there, again, I think the Cubs are not as bad as like people are going to project them today because like the weather and everything. Nico Horner has hit left-handed pitching really well this year. He's yet to strike out against the lefty this year, and he doesn't walk. So he puts the ball in play a ton, which seems like a really good stat when you're looking at a guy like Robbie Ray who gives up a lot of fly balls and a lot of power to righties. So Nico Horner is another one that if you're playing tournaments, don't sleep on the Cubs. I know the weather stinks for hitting, but it's not like it's like 20-mile-an-hour winds blowing straight in from center where like there's going to be no home run projections. Like the weather is not great, but the Cubs are still really good. So Nico Horner is another one.
Yeah, get a few doubles. It's me, Breezy says Mastroboni. I just don't like saying that word as a punt in cash. And yeah, right. Yeah,
I guess. I mean, yeah,
I would
Seattle's
try to get
so chalky.
You can
say that again, TJ.
For cash, I would be trying to get to Donovan, but like if you really can't and you like your lineup way better with Mastrobuoni, I think it's fine. But I would definitely be trying to get to Donovan for a cash game.
Yeah. Okay.
He's the only good player at the position.
Yeah. Stevie, you get to take us to third base.
Yeah, third base is interesting. Polanco, I think, is in a really good spot, even against the guy that I kind of want to see how he's going to pitch here over the next few starts. But Polanco's just been awesome all year, so he's really good. Vientos is cheap in your Mets stack, so I like him. Paredes, I'm not going to talk a lot about Houston, but I like Paredes in this spot against Priester. He has some upside. And then, again, like just kind of looking after that, it's who do you play in your stacks? There's nothing that really stands out past that. Maybe a Caleb Durbin. Valdez hasn't been great, but I don't love this spot for Milwaukee. So, yeah, I mean, it's really those three guys for me.
Okay. Stevie, third base. Sorry, TJ, third base.
Polanco, top play, agreed there. I think my favorite for large field tournaments would be Eugenio Suarez, only 4,300, going up against Senga. And then outside of that, I agree with Stevie, kind of only in stack situations. Vientos, Paredes, even Birdie if you're playing Cubs, Chapman if you're playing if you're playing, I was going to say 49ers, Giants, Durbin if you're playing Milwaukee, but Polanco's a top option, and I'd have Suarez as my favorite pivot.
Okay, good stuff. That brings us to shortstop. TJ?
Francisco Lindor, my top guy here. Love the Mets, love Lindor. I actually do have just about as much Polanco as I do Lindor, but Polanco is playable at 2 different positions, and I would much rather play him at third than short today. And I actually might make a new build and just make a rule that I'm only going to play Polanco at third and not short because of how much stronger shortstop is than third base. So Lindor one of the Seattle guys too, Polanco or JP Crawford if you need a cheap option. Mason Wynn batting second is another nice cheap option I like. Perdomo's fine, Pena's fine, Adames is fine, and Swanson has crushed lefties so far this year, even though he's way down below in the lineup. So I basically just don't want to play Wilson, Peguero, or Ortiz. Don't really have any interest in those 3 guys. And everybody else at the position, I think, is a pretty strong play, with Lindor being my favorite.
Okay. Good work. TJ, your thoughts at short?
God, Stevie, your thoughts at short?
I'm sick. I'm not doing great. Stevie, your thoughts at short? Thank you, TJ.
Yeah, I mean, JP Crawford might be one of the hottest hitters in baseball right now. It's wild. He just looks really patient at the plate. He's hit in 15, I think, straight games, and 7 of those have been multi-hit games. So, and he's been hitting leadoff for Seattle. And Seattle, like I feel like the first 3 weeks of the season, Seattle was awful, like really, really bad. But they have quickly, like, they're a top 3 team against right-handed pitching this season. One of the reasons that the stack is so popular. So, love the Lindor play. If you can afford him, you should be able to afford him because, again, some pitchers that are cheap and some bats that we like are cheap. So Lindor should not be a problem to get in there with Alonso and Soto. So Polanco, really like him as well. After that, I mean, it kind of gets into maybe Jeremy Pena hitting leadoff against Priester. Mason Wynn in the St. Louis stack. He has that speed. So, like, if Wynn can get on base, he can steal bases. So he has some upside at a really cheap price tag if you're not going up to like a Lindor.
Okay, let's go to the outfield then. Stevie, what do you got there?
Yeah, I mean, my favorite outfielder is Nootbaar from St. Louis. I talked a little bit about how much I like the Cardinals. Well, one of the reasons I love the Cardinals so much is because Keller's velocity is way down. So we talked about Donovan. It's just a really good price for Nootbaar as well. He's like 4.5K, which puts him like really in that mid-range where it's not hard to fit him in. He's one of my favorite hitters on the entire slate, so I really like him. I like Juan Soto. He's going to eventually get it going. And Kelly really struggles with like left-handed power. Soto is a really good hitter. He's one of the best left-handed hitters in baseball. So don't sleep on like Juan Soto here. He's getting a ton of ownership like he should. One of the guys that I don't like today, like, I know we like talking about who we do like. The one guy that I don't like today is Julio Rodriguez. So I was doing some research on Julio Rodriguez because I always like to look at these guys that are like super chalky. And one of the things that Julio Rodriguez struggles a lot with is sinkers. And this guy, again, I think Hoagland has a really plus sinker. So Julio Rodriguez is getting a ton of ownership. I love the pivot to like Juan Soto. So on Lineup HQ today, I was on premium tags and I tagged Soto over Rodriguez because I think that's just like one of the best pivots. And then you get some cheap guys here in the outfield from St. Louis, like Victor Scott, who has some stolen base upside. Burleson, who's really cheap at 2.8K. So again, I like the Cardinals a lot. So I keep talking about them. And then I don't mind the Cubs in a stack. Ian Happ is cheap. Suzuki has upside against lefties. And Yeezy and chat's like, Stevie, we play the Cubs every day. I do. I feel like I play the Cubs every day because they're just that good. So, yeah, I mean, that's kind of where I'm at in the outfield. I'm sure I'm missing a couple people, but overall, Nootbaar is like my favorite here.
Okay. TJ, you got a few names you want to add to the mix?
Nimmo, Corbin Carroll, Starling Marte, I think are going to be my 3 favorites today, followed by Julio Rodriguez and Juan Soto. Corbin Carroll, I feel like there's this group of expensive outfielders with Rodriguez isn't that expensive, but when you kind of look at it from a small slate perspective, you have Tucker, Carroll, Cruz, Suzuki, Soto, Rodriguez. I feel like people are going to that Soto Rodriguez tier, the 5.1K and below. Tyler Soderstrom, that group a lot more than they're going all the way up to Kyle Tucker, Corbin Carroll, and O'Neill Cruz. So those are three guys that I want to be drastically over the field on today, especially considering I'm going overweight on the Ben Browns and the Quinn Priesters of the world. So I'm going to have a lot of money to spend on bats.
Yeah. I don't know if you saw the breaking news. Steph Curry has a hamstring strain. He's ruled out for game 2, and I'm seeing some people kind of hypothesizing he might not be back till game 6 or 7.
Yeah, I saw that he pulled his hamstring in that last game, so I figured probably wouldn't be back for the next one. That takes a while.
Wait, the Magic are out. What happened? No, I mean,
yeah. Let's see. How about some home run calls? And then
now Wilson is leading off for the Athletics, and so that actually makes him viable at shortstop as well. He was one of the couple players I didn't want to play at the shortstop position, and now that he's leading off and Butler's all the way down in the lineup, I still think you can play Butler, but I think Wilson is actually in play now as well, and there's no Langeliers/Langelier in the lineup today.
Steve's daughter is eating lunch, walking around singing Doppler Boy, Doppler Boy, Doppler Boy. It's just terrible. I feel for her. Please teach that child some real music.
Oh, it could be a lot worse.
That's true.
Okay, let's talk about it. Could have been a lot worse. I feel like it had good tempo. The video's fun. Like it was a good job. Like it could be a lot worse. Like if they came out with a NASCAR song, like it probably
no
was
Nick
worse.
Kurtz for Oakland today.
Say that one more time, TJ.
There's also no Nick Kurtz for Oakland today.
Okay. Hey, let's give the people some home run calls, answer any questions they've got, and then bounce on out of here. Stevie, give me something at the top, something a little sneaky if you want something in between, but you don't have to.
Yeah, I mean, I'll go with Juan Soto at the top. We'll go Nootbaar in the like mid tier, and let's go Burleson in the very bottom.
Very good. TJ, a few names. Nimmo. You're gonna say Nimmo. Just say it.
He's gonna say Pete Alonso. I didn't want to take one of his Spidey bombs.
2 Spidey bombs scrolling at the bottom, Pete Alonso and James Wood. Wood is already playing, but I did want 17 more likes for the next Spidey bomb, but I'm going to trust the chat. Chat, we love you.
Give us a thumbs up.
Give us 17 more people clicking that thumbs up right now. Take your mouse, slide it over, give it a little click. If you're watching on your phone, we got time. So why not? I'm feeling generous today. Some of you may not know how to open up and hit the like button on your phone, because we found out one of the other show like a couple months back, a lot of people are watching on their phone or tablet. So here we are. Here's my phone. Look, I'm gonna lock it first so you can see my beautiful background. There's my adorable little child.
No,
my
with
background,
the Batman shirt,
waving with the Batman shirt. We unlock. Give me some Face ID here. There we go. We go to YouTube. Exit out of Agents of Fandom, and you'll find that RotoGrinders are right there at the top. Nice, easy, right up. Oh, there I am. Beautiful.
There you are.
Right there. You got to hit the X button, because here's the problem. There's the chat. There's the wonderful chat. You can't see the like button. It's gone. You got to hit the X. Then you give it a little click.
There you go.
And there we are. I see we're already almost at 100. We're at 96.
The thumbs up. You've done it. Good job.
Now, Spidey Bomb number 3, I believe plus 450 was as good as we can get him. We're sticking with Steve's Mets. We're going with Francisco Lindor as Spidey Bomb number 2. He's plus 450. Spidey Bomb number 3, sorry. He's plus 450 on FanDuel. So we got Alonso, Lindor, and James Wood. And Stevie's right. I actually did bet on Brandon Nimmo too.
That was me who guessed Nimmo, but
that was you. So you were right. I actually did make a bet on Nimmo too. We just got a Mets lineup, very different than we expected. No Alvarez Torrens is in there, like Stevie mentioned, was a possibility. No Vientos, Brett Beatty is in there. And Acuna and McNeil are both in there. So somebody else is gone too.
Is this Acuna like the Acuna?
No Marte. Dang it. No Marte. That sucks.
This is Acuna, the dude who's really good, or this is a different Acuna?
Luis, it's his little brother.
Oh, that's fun.
I think this is his little brother.
Yeah. It is his brother. He's the better Acuna.
Okay. Yeah.
Whoa.
Okay.
That's what that's what Ronald Acuna said.
Okay.
He said his little brother is like he said his brother at the ages that they're at has always been better than him.
And Ronald hasn't played in like 2 years now.
Well, that's why I was curious. I was like, I feel like I haven't heard much of older Acuna lately. I don't follow baseball, in case you're unaware, so it's good to know. We got a couple questions coming in. My guy Nathan says, cash catcher Stevie, if you can't get to the big dumper.
It's Torrens now.
If you can't get to him, yeah, Torrens, Diaz, or Paez.
Okay.
It's probably Torrens because he's hitting in the middle of the lineup.
Sure. It's me, Breezy, says TJ, DK Cash, Alonso, Birdie, or Julio Vientos.
Vientos is not in the lineup.
That makes that
I
easy.
still think I would like the second side better with I wouldn't want to play Birdie in a cash second. Who is with him? I missed that first part of it.
It was Alonso, Birdie, or Julio Vientos.
So I would go Alonso, Beatty.
Okay.
Which you now can do because he's in the lineup.
Okay. TJ, do you still like the Mets as much as you did? Both of you. Was your favorite stack were the Mets. Now we got this lineup coming out. Maybe we don't like it as much, or where do you stand?
Yeah, I still like them as much. It just made them even cheaper.
Yeah. Okay. Got a question in Discord from Tom. He says DK Cash 3,700 or below. He didn't tell me what position. What does that do for me, Tom? You got to tell me what position. This ain't FanDuel. We don't have a util. Let me know what position. We'll get to that one. If you got any other questions, get them in. If you haven't hit the thumbs up, please do so.
Hey, really quick, with the Athletics lineup coming out, no Kurtz, no Langoliers. I like Brian Wu more than I did earlier, so I think this is a good spot for him. Butler not hitting leadoff. He had a ball last night that he hit, and like he was like shaking his wrist like all the way down first base as he was running out of ground ball, and just did not look right at the plate after that. So no Langoliers. Butler kind of banged up right now. This lineup a little bit weaker, so I think Brian Wu definitely moves up my list, probably to my favorite SP2. He was already really close to my favorite SP2, but I like him a lot now. Like him and Sonny Gray are going to be my main combo on DraftKings.
Okay. We did get a little clarity on that question from Tom. DK Cash 3,700 or below, outfield in DK Cash. TJ, outfield 3,700 or cheaper.
Let's go with I think I'd probably do JJ Woodday, unless you're playing Wu. Then maybe Brian. No, because you're playing Gray, which I guess it's not a big deal. But yeah, I think I'd go Woodday.
Okay. Producer Steve grinding on the grind this morning, producing, playing baseball in the house, and cooking lunch for the kiddo because she's homesick. Here's the payout for that is that she will now get you sick. So that's the fun part of how that goes, is that you do all that work and all you get is to get sick. Hey, hooray. Stevie,
my day is, I was going to say my day is crazy too, man. I woke up super early this morning to get content out, and then we have to do afternoon content after this, and then my kid has an ortho appointment, and then we have volleyball scrimmages all night tonight, and then I got to come back and do a NASCAR show. So yeah, it's fun stuff.
I was about to go through my crazy day, but you win.
Listen,
I
dude,
sprinkled a little ballet in there.
I will say, I love the sports parenting chapter of my life. It's just so much fun. So
yeah, I need to get my kids in something other than ballet because I don't even get to watch. It's 90% of it's behind closed doors.
You have girls. They need to play volleyball.
I know.
I'm telling you, it's blowing up right now. It's insane.
My wife and I are tall, and my wife played college volleyball. So let's. Come on.
Yeah, I love coaching volleyball. It's fun.
All right, let's see. Stevie Burleson and Rooker or Contreras and Soderstrom on DK?
The first one.
Okay. Guess what? We answered all the questions and we did all the things we came here to do. I think it's time to clear on out. I did see one person typing. We'll give Blink 182 a second to see if he can get his question in.
Best Blink 182 song, Roth. I know you know Blink 182.
I do, but when you put me on the spot like that, I get nervous and I can't think of anything.
I feel like a lot of people would say probably all the small things.
The party song. There's a song they have that I believe is called the party song. Then I saw her standing there with green eyes and long blonde hair. She wasn't wearing.
Wow, that's an even deeper cut than I was gonna go.
That might be the one. Some girls try too hard. Na 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 na. That's my favorite song.
What do you got? Anthem Part 2.
Okay, Steve.
See, I feel like the chalk answer would be all the small things, right? Like that. First State's really good. Adam's song is probably my favorite, though. I love that song.
Yeah,
I remember singing to that as a child, not knowing what any of the words meant, and my mom started listening to me and was just mortified.
Yeah.
Like, what are you singing?
Yeah, there's a lot of that in the rap music that I grew up singing that I had no idea.
Adam's song is just so bleak and sad.
Yeah. Blink182, we got his question in. He says, P.S. I love Roth even more now because I waited because I saw him typing in the Discord. Yeah, you're welcome. Or maybe it's because I nailed the Blink-182 song. DK Large Field Tournament, thoughts on an Astro stack with 3 huge power one-offs. TJ, Astro stack, 3 huge power one-offs.
I don't really like it. I have 150 lineups with, I think, 6 Astro stacks in the whole thing. Let's see. 7 Astro stacks and 150 lineups. So I'm not getting to there very much. They are my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 stack.
Okay, there you go. Hey, with that, we did all the things that we came here to do, and we're going to be back later on today. We got another show, another slate. You know how it goes. Another day, another dollar. Kevin says, I just tanked my music career. Dr. Boy was a one-hit wonder. Yeah, and I'm okay with that. For TJ and for Stevie and for our wonderful production crew, always working hard behind the scenes. Guys, we appreciate you. We love you, and we will catch you later on today. You have been crunched.